Assalamu alaikum students, welcome back to another video. Today we will be solving Cambridge IGCSE Physics Paper 2 variant 22 of February-March 2024. Also a quick reminder that all the revenue generated from these videos will be sent to the aid of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. So please support us. Question 1. A student has a measuring cylinder containing water and also has a balance. Which of these could she use to find the volume of a small metal sphere? She has no other apparatus. So she has to find the volume and she has a measuring cylinder and a balance. So a volume we can find using a measuring cylinder containing water. So when she will add the sphere into the measuring cylinder, the water will rise, and so the change in the reading of the measuring cylinder will give you the volume of the sphere. So she can use the measuring cylinder containing water only. The diagram shows a solid object on a flat surface with two forces acting on the object. What is the resultant force on the object? Well, this is quite easy. You can see that the resultant force will be in the right direction and it will be 1 newtons. A ball is falling towards the ground. Which transfer between energy stores is taking place? So a ball is in the air and it is falling towards the ground. So the energy change would be gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. Because as the ball falls down, it loses the vertical height but it gains speed. So gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. Which row contains one scalar quantity and one vector quantity? So let's go through the options. Option A says energy and velocity. Well, we know this is correct because energy is a scalar quantity and velocity is a vector quantity. The table gives data about 4 liquids W, X, Y and Z. None of the liquids mixes with any of the other liquids. All of the liquids are put in the same container and settle to form 4 separate layers. Which statement is correct? So we'll have to calculate the density of each liquid to determine which will settle where. So the first liquid has a density of 1. Its density is equal to mass over volume. So this has 1. So and X would have 20 over 15, which would give you 1.3. 30 over 50 would give you 0.6, and 40 over 50 would give you 0.8. So the most dense liquid will be at the bottom and the least dense liquid will be at the top. So let's look at the options. W forms the layer below X. W is less dense than liquid. It will be above X, not below X, so A is incorrect. X forms the top layer. Well, X is the most dense liquid. It will form the bottom layer and not the top layer. Y forms the bottom layer. Y is the least dense and it should form the top layer and not the bottom layer, so this is also incorrect. Z forms the layer below Y. Z is more dense than Y, so it will form the layer below Y, which is correct. So D is your answer. Question 6. A weightless beam is balanced on a pivot as shown. Forces P, Q and R act on the beam. Which equation is correct? Okay, so we can see that P and R are in the forces P and R are in the downwards direction and Q is in the upwards direction. So keeping that in mind, when we go through the equations, you can see that equation D is correct. P times D minus Q times B, because P and Q are in opposite direction, and this should be equal to R times A, because they say that the weightless beam is balanced. So the moment on the left side and the moment on the right side of the pivot should be equal. An object is moving at plus 3 meters per second, a force acts on the object. After a time, the object is moving at negative 4 meters per second. The mass of the object is 5 kilograms. What is the change in momentum of the body? So we know the formula for momentum. Momentum is m delta v, where delta v is the change in speed. So the mass we know is 5 kilograms. Change in speed is initial speed minus final velocity minus initial velocity. So final velocity we have minus 4, and initial velocity was 3. So 5 times minus 7 would give you minus 35. So A is your answer. The diagram shows a column of liquid. The pressure due to the liquid at the bottom of the liquid is 6000 newtons per meter squared. What is the density of the liquid? So we know the formula for pressure exerted due to a liquid is pressure is equals to rho gh, where rho is your density and we have to find out the density. They have given us the pressure. You have to find out the density. The gravitational field strength we know is 9.8, and height of the liquid is 0.5 centimeters. So it is given in centimeters. You'll have to convert it into meters first and then calculate. Then just put this in your calculator, and your answer will come out to be 1200 kilograms per meter cube. Which statement correctly describes a change of state? A gas condenses to form a liquid. So this is correct, and this must be your answer. A liquid melts to form a solid. This is incorrect. A solid condenses to form a liquid. That is also incorrect. A solid boils to form a gas. This is also incorrect. So A is your answer. The diagram shows a pan used for cooking food. Which row is correct for the materials used to make the base of the pan and the handle of the pan? So the base of the pan must be a good thermal conductor, and the handle of the pan, because we will touch the handle, it should be a poor thermal conductor. So option B gives you the correct answer. Solar heating panels consist of pipes carrying water that absorb radiation from the sun. Which texture and color is the surface of the pipes so that the temperature of the water rises at the quickest rate? So it means that it should be the best conductor of heat or thermal energy. So which two conditions give you the best conductor? Well, when the surface is dull and it is black. So A is your answer. When pollen grains in water are viewed through a microscope, they are seen to be in continuous, rapid, random motion. What causes the pollen grain to move in this way? Convection currents in the water. Well, this is incorrect. There are no convection current in that particular water. Bombardment by a single molecule of water. Well, obviously when it will be in water, there won't be just a single molecule, there will be many water molecules. This is also incorrect. Uneven bombardment on different size by water molecules. So this is correct. A circular flat bottom dish contains 100 centimeter cubes of water. Students are asked how to increase the rate at which the water evaporates. Their suggestions are listed. Pour the water into a flat bottom dish of larger diameter. So this is correct, because increasing the diameter would also increase the rate of evaporation. Cool the dish in water. This will have the opposite effect. This will in fact decrease the rate of evaporation because we are cooling it. So it will decrease the rate of evaporation. Create a current of air over the dish with a fan. This is correct. This will increase the rate of evaporation. So 1 and 3 are correct. Matter consists of very small particles in a continuous state of motion. Which row describes the behavior of particles in a liquid? Force between particles, it is relatively strong, and the motion of particles, so we have two options. Move randomly at high speed, we know that this is for gases. So the other option would be your correct option, which is vibrate but change positions. So B. The The diagram shows the equipment used in an experiment on the heating of aluminum. The table gives the results for the experiment. The specific heat capacity of aluminum is 900 joules per kilogram Celsius. What is the maximum possible temperature rise in the block? So they have given us a lot of information. We know the formula is energy is equals to mc delta T. We have to find delta T. So first we'll have to find energy. Energy, you should be able to recall, is also power into time. So we can calculate the power using the volts and the current. So 12 into 5. 12 into 5, and the time they have given us is 300 seconds. This is your energy. You have to calculate the change in temperature. Mass you have as 0.8, and the specific heat capacity is 900. So just put this in the calculator and the answer will come out to be 25 Celsius. The diagram shows a wave. Which dimensions describe the properties of the wave? So let's go through all the options. P is amplitude, S is speed. So we can see this is incorrect. P is not the amplitude and S is not the speed. P is speed, Q is wavelength. So we can see that Q is in fact wavelength. Q is correct, but P is not the speed. So this is incorrect. Option C, R is the amplitude, which is correct since amplitude is the maximum displacement from mean position. So R is correct, and Q is the wavelength, which is also correct. So C is your answer. 17. Which row describes some characteristics of an image formed in a plane mirror? Let's go through the options. A real diminished, this is incorrect. Image formed in a plane mirror is neither real nor diminished. A real, same size as the object. It is of the same size, but it is not real. Virtual, diminished, is also incorrect. Virtual and same size as the object, this is correct. The range of audible frequencies for elephants is 10 Hz to 12,000 Hz, and for horses it is 55 Hz to 33,000 Hz. Which statement about the range of audible frequencies for a healthy human ear is correct? So we know that the range of audible frequency for a human is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. And elephants and horses both have ranges which exceed this range. So when you go through the options, you will see that D is correct. The human ear cannot hear all sounds heard by elephants nor those heard by horses, because their range exceeds our range. An object is placed in front of a plane mirror. The ray diagram shows the reflection of one ray of light from the object by the mirror. Where does the mirror form an image of the object? So since it is a plane mirror, it will reflect, so it will form here, somewhere over here, and you can see this is true in option A. Light refracts as it enters glass from air as shown. Which expression is equal to the refractive index of glass? So we know the formula for refractive index is sine of incidence over sine of the refracted. So you should know that this angle is the incidence angle and this is the refracted. So we will get I by subtracting theta 1. So 90 minus theta 1 would be I and theta 2 would be R. So C is your answer. Light traveling at a speed of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second strikes the surface of a glass block and undergoes refraction as it enters the block. The diagram shows a ray of this light before and after it enters the block. What is the speed of light in the glass? So we have the formula. N is equals to speed of light over speed of light in that particular medium, which is V. So refractive index we'll have to first calculate using the formula, using the earlier formula, which is sin I upon R. So sin I we have 55, so R is 33. So just plug this in your calculator. Sin 55 over sin 33. This gives you 1.5. So N is 1.5. Speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. V we have to calculate. So just solve this equation and you will get V as B. 22. Which row about converging lenses and diverging lenses is correct? So let's go through all the options. Converging lenses always produce inverted images. Diverging lenses can focus a parallel beam of light. So this is incorrect. Can be used as magnifying lenses. Do not have a principal focus. This is also incorrect. Can be used to correct short-sightedness and are usually thinner than converging lenses. This is the opposite. Converging lenses are usually thinner and diverging lenses can be used to correct short-sightedness. D. Can produce real and virtual images. This is correct. And diverging lenses can be used to correct short-sightedness. So this is also correct. So D is your correct answer. A charged rod X is placed on a balance and another rod Y is brought close to it as shown. Which combination of charges would cause the change in the balance reading shown? So we can see that there is an increase in the reading, 0.4 grams of increase. So when will this happen? When a force is being exerted on the balance, a downward force is being exerted. And when will that happen? When X and Y will repel each other. So they will exert a force against each other, and that will only be possible when there are two negative charges. What is the unit of potential difference? So this is very easy. Potential difference has volt as its unit. The diagram shows the transformer. What is the output voltage? So you can do this using the ratio that we have, which is primary voltage over the number of turns is equals to secondary voltage over the number of secondary turns. So VP you have is 22,000, number of turns is 550, secondary voltage you have to calculate, number of turns you have is 115. So when you solve this, you get Vs as 4600 volts. The diagram shows two arrangements of a pair of identical ball magnets. 3 points P, Q and R are shown. At which point is the magnetic field due to the magnet's weakest, and at which point is it strongest? So the closer to the magnet, the stronger it would be. So the strongest magnetic field would be at R, since it is closest to the magnet, and the weakest would be at P, because at P, at the north and north pole, they will repel each other. So it will be something like this, the magnetic field. So you can see that they do not diverge or converge at P. So at P it would be the weakest. A nichrome wire P has a length of 1 meter and a diameter of 1 millimeter. A second nichrome wire Q has a length of 2 meters and a diameter of 2 millimeters. Which statement correctly compares the resistance of Q with that of P? So we know resistance is resistivity times length upon area. So the second nichrome wire Q has double the length, so that means Q would have twice the resistance, but it also has twice the area. So twice the area means that the resistance would decrease by a factor of 4, because area is pi r square. We square the diameter. You can also write it as pi d square over 4. So we can see that we square in area we square the diameter. So the doubling the diameter would increase it by or decrease it by a factor of 4, because it is inversely proportional. So when we double the length, resistance becomes 2r, but when we double the diameter, we have to divide it by 4, so it becomes r over 2. So it has 1/2 the resistance of P. So B is your correct answer. A student has two resistors. One resistor has a resistance of 2 ohms and the other has a resistance of 40 kilo ohms. Which statement is correct? So let's first calculate the resistance in parallel and the resistance in series. So series would be 2 plus 40,000 ohms. So this would give you 40,002 ohms. This is for series, and for parallel it would be 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 40,000. And this would give you, when you solve this, RT would come out to be 2. So the combined resistance when connected in parallel is 2, which is option B. In which circuit do both lamps light? So we'll have to trace the current in each option. Option A, current starts from here, but it won't move further because there's a diode and it prevents it from moving in this direction. So A is not correct. In B, when the current reaches here, it will not be allowed to go off further because there is a diode and it will restrict movement in this direction. So this is also incorrect. The flow of current is not complete, so lamp will not light. Option C. So yes, option C is your correct answer, because we can see that the flow of current is complete and both lamps will light. An isotope of strontium has a nuclide notation. How many protons and neutrons are there in the nucleus of this isotope? So we know that the number on the bottom is the proton number, so 38, and when we subtract 84 from 38, that gives you the neutron number, so that is 46. So A is your answer. The student is investigating the count rate of a radioactive substance. How must he adjust his reading for the background count? Add the background count to his reading. This is incorrect, because the reading he will get will already have the background count, so there is no need to add it. Ignore the background count as it will not affect his reading. Incorrect. Background count is always there and it will always affect the reading. Subtract the background count from his reading. So this is correct. When he subtracts the background count, he will get the actual reading of the radioactive substance. What occurs during nuclear fusion? So we know fusion is the coming together or the combining of two lighter nuclei. So two light atomic nuclei join together and emit energy. This is correct. So A is your answer. A beta particle enters a uniform magnetic field directed into the page and deflects downwards as shown. Which direction of electric field will also deflect an electron downwards? So here you will have to use the left hand rule. So when you use the left hand rule, you will see that when the direction of electric field is up the page, it will have the same effect on the beta particle. You can try this using the left hand rule. The radioactive isotope radon is an alpha emitter. During this radioactive decay, an isotope of polonium is produced. How many neutrons does the nucleus of this isotope of polonium contain? So polonium is produced when radon emits an alpha particle. So after the emission of an alpha particle, polonium is produced, so it will have this notation. This is how much is 86, so this would become 84. Now you can calculate the neutrons of the polonium, subtract 218 from 84 and you will get 134. Which statement gives two safety precautions to take when a person is working with ionizing radiation? Decrease exposure time and decrease distance between the person and the source. This will have the opposite effect, this will be more harmful. Decrease exposure time and increase distance between the person and the source. This is correct. We need to decrease the exposure time and increase the distance between the person and the source. Which list correctly shows the planets in decreasing order of distance from the sun? So for this question you must remember the correct order of the planets in our solar system. So shows the planets in decreasing order, which means we will start with the planets that are further away and end with the planets that are closest to the sun. So this would give you C as your answer: Neptune, Uranus, Saturn and Jupiter. So Neptune is the furthest away, then you have Uranus, then you have Saturn and then you have Jupiter. The sun radiates most of its energy in three regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. In the pie chart, region 1 is infrared radiation and region 2 is visible radiation. What is region 3? So region 3 we know is ultraviolet radiation. 38. The diagram shows a comet moving in an elliptical orbit around the sun. At which position is the comet moving with the greatest speed? So they have given us 4 positions. So the comet will be moving with the greatest speed at the point where there is strongest gravitational attraction, because when the greater the force, the greater the speed, right? So the point where there is strongest gravitational attraction, the comet will have the greatest speed. So that is at point A, because it is closest to the sun. So there will be a stronger gravitational field. Nuclear reaction in the sun release large quantities of energy. Which statement about this process is correct? So we know that in the sun nuclear fusion occurs and which releases large quantities of energy, and fusion of hydrogen produces helium. So D is correct. The last question of this paper, the table gives data about 4 planets in our solar system. What are planets X and Y? Okay, so they have given us information for Uranus and Earth, and then there are 2 other planets. So we have to realize that the planets X and Y, the mean surface temperature lies in between this range. In between Earth and Uranus, the temperatures lie between this range. So that means that these 2 planets are in between Uranus and Earth. So when you go through the options, you will see that the only so you will see that the only correct option can be A, because only Mars and Saturn are in between Uranus and the Earth, The rest of the options you can see are not in between Uranus and Earth. So you have Mars and Neptune. Mars is between Uranus and Earth, but Neptune is not. Similarly, Mercury and Saturn. Mercury is not between Uranus and Saturn, and also Mercury and Neptune. Once again, Mercury is not in between Uranus and Saturn. So only Mars and Saturn are in between Uranus and Earth. So A is your option. So that brings us to the end of our paper. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you later.